second part of that video that I had to stop because my son was walking through the hallway. I feel comfortable with my own voice, but we were all entitled to privacy, which I've taught my children from the beginning. So anyway, getting back to the video, the first part, I'm actually more in shock now than what I was an hour ago. I actually sat and listened to my recording. And when I was listening, it didn't register that the voice that was talking about the eve of my mum and dad's opening up of the grave, that was actually me. It's not until you sit back and you listen to yourself telling the story, then it even registered even more how disrespectful these people have been to me over the years. And still always felt guilty over the years of not contacting them. But now I truly, truly, really understand why. And this is closure to the feelings of, what would mum say or dad? More so mum, as I say. I was only 6 when dad died. And mum had the hard journey of bringing the children up alone. And I think to myself, no wonder I came away to live in Scotland with a beautiful person I'd met who totally respected you. He wouldn't even let you walk on the outside of the road. He was a true gentleman, yet funny, full of character, loved a couple of pints of Guinness. Used to sit and tell me about the stories when he was working in the theatre and on the road and travelling Europe with Scottish opera. And I just couldn't grasp why this man was sitting listening to me. A wee lassie from Gateshead, but always had dreams. The guy totally respected me, Peter. Eventually married him, but we'll get back to that another day. So I'm thinking of myself as I was listening into this recording. My goodness, that's me. I'm listening to the voice and I'm listening to what's happened. And I'm absolutely disgusted, as if I'm listening into a radio show. Still cannot believe. Can't justify, not that I really want to, but I can't justify how somebody could even do that and not inform their siblings. I just cannot believe how much ego. I knew they were ego-driven. Don't get me wrong, I like nice things and my home nice and tidy and clean, but that's just natural. But these are ego-driven to the inner part of their being where I never really understood. But after them going in 2015 to buy the plot again, because as I said, after 50 years it runs out. So they actually knew. I don't talk to my other sister and brother, the eldest one either, that did this. The reason being we all fell out was I came to Glasgow, Scotland, from the northeast of England to be happy with my new partner who became my husband, who took my children on as their own children. 2 of them. I have 3. Joseph, Joanne and Andrew. I look back now and I think, how blessed was I to come away from that environment. You know, and it was hurtful because my next sister up, Catherine, I was really close to her. Really close. And then as the years went by, I finally found out. Well, I knew I was being disrespected, but I couldn't really see it. Peter could. He was astonished. He said he'd never met anything like it in his life. Then they accused me of coming away to Scotland when Mum was dying and I didn't care. My mum was so happy. She turned round and said, if only I was well enough. Mum was fighting lung cancer. If only I was well enough, would you take me to Scotland to live with you? Oh, my goodness. How heartbreaking. She never made it. Totally adored this woman. She was humble, she was caring, she was strong. But for them to see that I came away from my mother, I was the last one at home. Used to sit. My goodness, the house. It was clean, but there was nothing. It was bare. I had been married once before and I came back home at the age 23 and I used to sit with my mother during the night. The house was freezing. So hungry. I had my own house and I sold it. But then again, one of the sisters I didn't get on with soon made sure that my money that I'd made off the house was well and truly spent. And once I'd fitted all my mum's house out for carpets to give us a bit comfort, she used to come walking through with cement and everything all over her shoes. No respect. But as I say, Mum used to waken quite a lot during the night. We used to share a room. I think it was just to share the same body heat, actually. House was so cold. There's no money. We used to sit and have a cup of tea and some toast. It was such a comfort. And I think all those years that I stayed with her, and I gave to her as much as I possibly could, and for them to say that I didn't care about my mother, what on earth? I didn't have the guts or the courage, but by God, now I have. I've got this inner strength, which I do understand that some people are on different levels, different roads, etc. But even if I was the highest person rank on earth to the lowest, I treat everyone the same. And this is how I think I get on in my job. I work with the wealthy, the elite, from homeless to junkies, the lot. So I need to catch my breath and think about the thoughts. I'll get back to you about how I feel after tomorrow is over. Soon be back.